Hello and welcome. Wendy Byford here from Your Entity Solution, and I have as my guest today Ashlan Glazier-Anderson. Now, Ashlan is the founder and CEO of AshbeanPDX Marketing. She is a professional certified marketer and a certified digital marketing professional with over 20 years of experience with advertising agencies, corporations, and nonprofits. For all of you out there with nonprofits, she thrives on helping clients solve problems and create unique strategies to best reach their target audience, drive revenue, and grow their businesses at scale. As an entrepreneur, she can help you build a strong marketing function with the right systems to get more done with fewer resources. So thank you so much, Ashlan, for being here. It's really great to have you to interview, and I'm sure that our viewers are going to want to know a lot about you. So let's dive in.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Wendy.
So firstly, how did you get into marketing?
It is actually kind of a funny story. So in high school, I was running out of electives to take. And so it was either European history, which was not offered at a good time. And I was already taking anthropology. So my advisor was like, well, you should take something else. And so marketing was a class that was actually offered at my high school. And what was really cool is when you took the marketing class, you got to run the student store. So the student store was open, during our hallway breaks. It was open during lunch. And so you kind of, you would be in class and then we'd all rotate out. I think it was 2 or 3 of us got to run the student store. And then we also got to do a lot of cool things like go to this basketball tournament and shoot the t-shirt cannon. So there was always all these like really cool things that the marketing students got to do. So it was a quick win to do that in high school. And then I just kept on with it afterwards.
So no more anthropology.
Yes.
Great. So as you know, there are lots of people in marketing out there doing all kinds of stuff. So what is your specialty? What makes you different from everybody else who is out there?
I think that one thing that really sets me and the folks that I work with apart is we rely on the strategy. So there's like a lot of different tactics and things that we can do. There are things that I think are foundations that every business needs, like you need a website, you should have an email marketing list, you should be doing social media, but you don't necessarily need to be everywhere and doing everything. So we are really data driven. We try to gather as much information and intel to try to make sure that we're doing the right set of things to attract clients and make money and not be, spending $10,000 a month on ads that's leading to nothing. And so I do run into a lot of folks who do work in the marketing space and they have these really cookie cutter templatized things where, they'll be like, oh, Wendy, you have to do this because it's going to work for your business and it's going to work for every other business. We're not like that. We really like to understand what will work specifically for the audience that you're trying to reach with your business and have a strategy that fits you, not just, this one that people tell you like, oh, just wait, it'll work. We're going to test and try and learn through data and figure out what actually does work and what sticks.
That sounds like it really is a lot of work because you could be working with a roofer one day and somebody who has a med spa the next day. So totally different audiences, totally different pains and dreams and all the rest of it. So how do you go about collecting the information to be able to put the ads together that really work?
We do a combination. So one, we do rely a lot on the owners or business professionals that we work with. We ask tons of questions. Typically, I have a kickoff call that's an hour long. That's me just being like, who do you serve? Who have been your best customers? What are the products or services that are the most profitable in your business? Do you not know that? Do you want to learn how to look that information up? And so we really bring kind of this business and marketing acumen into it. And then we try to data mine from existing customers. So either doing, customer surveys, talking to people, doing focus groups, or just looking at your Google reviews and seeing what people are putting there, because those are the words of your actual customers that should, in theory, attract you more of those kinds of same people. So one mistake that I do see a lot of people make is they talk about their business and the work that they do in their own words. it's not necessarily your words that are going to resonate most with the customers. It's what, if you hear 10 people saying this is what you do, the words that you use to describe what you do don't matter. Those 10 people's words matter, because that's what's going to bring you in more, clients and customers like that.
Right. So everybody's using AI, right, to create all this content and stuff. So do you use AI, and how, if you do use it, how do you use it in your marketing?
So AI is prompt based. Basically, it's what you put in impacts what you get out. So the way that I am actually using it is I use a Fathom note taker in my client calls. It records everything. We get a transcript out of it. I actually upload that into AI to help with the content creation, because it's going to know, because it marks who is saying the word. So it's going to know what I'm saying. It's going to know what my client is saying, and then being able to build out those words into the content. And then I don't just take what it spits out. I actually go through and I read and I adjust things and I add to it. So I'm not just taking exactly what it's putting out there, and pulling that in. The other caution I would say to people is, if you're, say that you have a med spa and you be like, hey, I want you to write my website copy for my med spa. Well, it's going to source from everybody in your area. And then if I'm looking stuff up, I'm not seeing your differentiation. So that is a big thing that we're all about, is what makes your business special? Why should I go to you versus somebody else? Because if you essentially look the same as anybody else, the only thing you're ever competing on is price. And I will say also reviews, because if somebody is the cheapest but has terrible and 1-star reviews, whereas this person's more expensive but they have only 5-star reviews, I'm probably going to trust your customers that reviewed you more than the price that you're putting on that service.
Right. So I really understand the making sure that you get the differentiators in there, because
Mhm.
just I do a lot of work on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and just reading through what people are posting, you can say, oh yeah, that's AI. That's
Mhm.
AI.
Yep.
So when we do posts, my favorite AI tool is Claude,
Mhm.
and Claude and I have a conversation. So it'll be,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't like that. Let's change this to this. Let's
Mhm.
add that. Let's take this out. So it's actually like a cooperative venture, if you
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
getting anything done, because it not only has to sound like me,
Right.
but it actually has to um, have the information that I would normally use for my clients.
Yeah. Mhm.
So understand completely what you're saying. So can you please give me an example of where you've worked with one or two people, and kind of the difference that it made to their business?
Yes. So she is now my longest standing continuous client.
Mhm.
Um, she initially hired me just to post social media. Um, they do executive recruiting for nonprofit organizations, and so they recruit for jobs, as well as they have a job board. And so when I first started working with them, they were doing a post on LinkedIn. They were like, so and so is hiring this job, here's the link to the job posting. That's it. Organization name, job title, and just the link. We improved that by adding like what the location was. We added
Mhm.
a little bit about what in our posts about what the mission of the nonprofit is. And then we did a listing of kind of the top 5 characteristics that they were looking for in an ideal candidate. And then, of course, the link to the job posting, and then a beautiful photo, picture of that. And that has just improved their social media following, because now it's helpful, right? I can know right away, instead of just looking at the job title, which, to be honest, some job titles you can't even tell what the heck they do based on what they list. If you've ever seen some of them out there and be like, what is that? But it is helpful for the job seeker to see what those characteristics are. And so, that's how it started. I now do email newsletters for her. We do website content. And so it's just grown and scaled from there, as I've identified just kind of other opportunities in that market for her type of business. And, initially they're like, oh, that would save us an hour a day. Well, there's many more hours per day that we help and support them now. So that is one example. And then another one, I did actually work with somebody who they were 2 years into their business. They were kind of stalled on their growth, and they kind of were unsure of exactly who their target audience was and who would resonate with them. So we actually went back to basics. I have a kind of a 4-phase process that we talk about, who your target audience is, what resonates with them. We look at similar, not always just competitors, but peer organizations and how they're communicating with that specific target audience. And then we built out ideas about what her content would look like. So moving people from that awareness phase to consideration, to interest, and to action of buying. And then also went on the flip side and looked at what would a loyalty type thing look like in an advocacy thing. So like, not only are you getting the clients, but how are you retaining them and how are you making them good referral partners for you? And so, we built that out. We did some test content, put it out there. We're like, okay, this is what's resonating. This is what's not. And then identified who would be good referral partners. So she runs an employee health and wellness coaching company. And then also we identified, benefits brokers might be good ones, because people who, provide their employees with health insurance and other ancillary benefits might be interested in something like this. So she just slowly built out these pockets of great referral partners. And then we built, content like slides that they can put in their annual benefits conversations, presentations, a referral toolkit that just says, hey, if you hear this in your conversation, here's how you can make the easy referral. So yeah, being able to build those kinds of things out with folks is really, really helpful. And then again, continuing to analyze the data and be like, okay, this works, this didn't hit, this is what we're going to try again as well. So yeah.
Okay. So Ashlan, it's I know that when people get started in business, the first thing they're saying is, oh yeah, I need marketing, whatever, before they have their infrastructure built. So we try and get them to slow down a little bit and think about, you're building a business a brick at a time. It's not a race to get everything done overnight. But when they come to you to say, okay, I'm ready to start marketing, what should they have ready for you? What would make your life a little bit easier if they had this stuff already done?
Oof. I think having kind of the who, what, when, where, why, how of their brand, and having a little bit of a direction, knowing who their competitors are, having some customer data, having a little bit of sales under their belt already. And then I think just being prepared to answer questions about their business. I've actually had some folks be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. And I'm like, okay, that's okay if it's you don't know, but like, if we have nothing to kind of work with already, like if you haven't tried some social media posting, if you haven't sent out a newsletter, if you haven't tried to make a website, like, we're basically starting from bare bones. We're having to build the house. We're laying the concrete of the foundation to build the house first. And then knowing that is going to take time, because like you said, it's building brick by brick. We're not going to just snap our fingers and overnight a website is going to be built. And I know a lot of AI tools promise that, but again, it goes back to do you want to look like everybody else in your industry, or do you want to have that know, like, and trust factor of why somebody would buy from you, as opposed to being able to every single day I can switch who I'm going to for this.
Right. This has been just a great conversation, but we're going to have to wrap it up because we're running out of time.
Sure.
I'm going to bring up how you can get hold of Ashlan. You can see that they are very good at what they do. They put a lot of time and effort into making sure that the marketing is done right and that it's done in a comprehensive way, not just one tool here or one tool there. So if you want to find out what would work for you, you can get hold of Ashlan. There's her phone number, 503-217-4342, or you can email her at ashlan@ashbeanpdx.com and have that conversation. She's a lovely person. You'll have a great time. So make sure that you make that call. Thank you so much, Ashlan. I really appreciate your being here.
Thank you,
It's
Wendy.
a delight. And I wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I really appreciate it.